Alrighty, we're going to go over some of the new features in Tank Exporter real quick. Over on the left here, I've got a couple of new buttons, one with a skull on it. This shows the locations in the visual file for the chassis. This one shows the vertex colors for all of the models. Go up here and I'll maximize this. Let's load this MS1. Okay, pen locations. These are all the locations that are inside of the visual file. These correspond to the track and wheel locations. If you scroll down here, track. These are these locations. Okay. More track locations. Then you have these other groups which belong to the chassis. You'll notice that we have track sections that are part of the stack. Okay. These track locations that are part of this chassis stack, which is the carriage here, are the white pins. All these track locations here belong to these white pins. The WDs are the wheel locations that are non-movable. They can't be deformed. That's all these red ones here. Okay. The regular W underscore are the green ones. These are the ones that actually move up and down as you're driving over terrain. Okay. These correspond to entries in this file. Okay. If you scroll around here and look, you can see that we have all these different locations for all these different items. Okay. Tank Exporter, if you move these pins around or delete them, will automatically update that visual file now when you write out the primitive. So anyway, let's get to this. I'm going to extract this. I've already done it once. Been done it a number of times today. Had a number of problems with my video capturing, not wanting to record audio. I finally got that working. So, open up 3ds Max. I'm going to import this. MS1. Okay. Let's maximize this viewport. Alright. Now I put these little what are called helper items in here and then put every one of the different groups that are associated with that part of the tank's chassis and carriage into these groups. So you can see that's the track section, right? The other track section. These are the wheel sections and their attached track bend bones. All right. What we're going to do here, basically going to hide everything but the chassis. Okay. I think we want this one here so we can see it. Okay. We're going to hide the ones that we're not too concerned about. Okay. I'm going to work on this one here. If you want this little square to go away, you can unhide those helper entities, right? This yellow dot here is the V-bone that's in each one of these folders. Okay. All right, if we want to isolate this part of the track, let's actually get to the other one, okay? These are the ones we're concerned about. Okay. Now, move this up. Let me show you how to do this. I'm going to go over here to this, right click, go down to Properties, turn on Vertex Channel. Make sure this is set to Vertex Color. Okay. And it shows the colors in here just like this one does. Take Exporter's version. Okay. Now to edit these, go to Editable Mesh up here on the top. Scroll down to the bottom and set these to 1. This is the color. Double click on this little white window here, pulls up the color selection box. Now over here, that's an eyedropper. Let's just select the color. You see this one has red as 5. And if you look at some of these other ones, you'll notice that red is nothing, but blue has a value in it. Okay, WD wheels that do not move as you drive over the track, all have a value in the red channel. So this is 14. Over here, this is 20. But these channels, these wheels do not have a red value. That distinguishes them between the wheels that move up and down and the drive wheels. Okay, so we're going to pick this big wheel here, and we're going to select it by that vertex color. See? Then we're going to geometry, edit geometry. I'm going to detach that. Just put it in its own group. Okay. I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to deselect this, the vertice selection box, so that it loosens this up. It's not tight to anything. Okay. Now this is its own separate group now. And we want to move it and its center pin so that we can move the location inside of the visual file, right? So I'm just going to go to orthographic here real quick. Get this lined up. Up here to move. I'm just going to move this around some. Okay. Go back to perspective. Okay, and there's our new location. Right? We're going to go to properties, and we're going to turn off this vertex color. Properties, turn off vertex color. Go back into textured. Okay, now we're going to select, let's get off of move. Select this, go down here to attach. And we're going to reattach that geometry. If it disappears, which it does sometimes, just do Control Z and reattach it again. Okay, I don't know why it vanishes like that, but it does. But now those are basically one model again. So now we have to do some other stuff. Go down here to the channel info, you'll see that we have a bunch of dead garbage because I split that off and then reattached it, and it left a bunch of junk in here. So I have tried a lot of different things here. Move isolated vertices doesn't work. Just doesn't do it. You select all of these. Move isolated vertices. Still all here. Can't get rid of it that way. What does work is to go up here to modifiers, UV coordinates, UV unwrap. Click this update and you'll see that. We fix the UVs. Okay. Now to fix the color and the alpha, do the same thing. Go up to modifiers, mesh editing, vertex paint. Okay. Now if we just update this, you'll see that we've removed those dead verts. Now we're going to collapse all of this. Okay. Up here to modifiers, we're going to add vertex paint again, but this time we're going to click over here on vertex alpha. Update. Fixed. Okay. Collapse all. I know it's kind of a tedious thing to have to do, but I don't know any other way to cure that problem. One thing I notice is if you have a whole lot of faces in UV maps that you can't get these to match, say you have 10 times more UVs than you do verts here. That's because the way it's mapped out on the UV editor, it has to use different verts to create different parts of the mesh as far as the way it renders. Anyway, there's a way to fix that when you export. But anyway, got this the way we want it. We're going to go up here and we're going to go export. I already did this once when I was trying to get all this working. Okay. Now if you go to geometry, if you have a whole lot of UVs that you want to keep working, you can go up here to split by normals, and this will create a bunch more triangles within the data, and that way it'll export correctly. But anyway, I've been changing this format here to 9, but it turns out it doesn't make any difference. Okay. Go up here. Well, let's shut this off first. Shut the pins off. Import FBX. And it's going to tell me that I haven't extracted anything. And we're going to say, yeah, sure, why not? I'm going to do the chassis. It's the only part we're working on right now. Okay, there's our wheel. All right, now if we turn on these pins, these bone locations, blend bone locations, I guess what you want to call them. We can call them whatever you want, doesn't matter. I call them pins, but that's because they kind of look like pins. You'll see that we've moved them. Okay. There's our UV bend bone, which is usually part of all of these different sets. All right, now we're going to write this out. And you'll see that Tank Exporter's figured out that we did something to the chassis sections. Right now I can't write the rubber band parts. Not that you'd want to anyway, because they don't show up in the game. The only thing that shows up in the game is the individual track segmented tracks that are made out of using a NURB line. Okay. Now if you want to make these invisible, you can turn on hide track on chassis and write this out. Okay. And that'll usually make them invisible, but sometimes you have to do some additional work. We're going to minimize this. Then we're going to minimize that. It'll take the load off of the processor so the game loads a little bit quicker. Tank Exporter stops rendering when it's in minimized state. So it just stops loading your processor. My computer's pretty slow. I'm trying to get it updated, but I'm having a hard time getting the money together for it. My video board isn't bad, but the processor's an old Q9550, and it's just slow. My hard drive's good. I have a solid state hard drive, works pretty good. Okay, and there's our MS1 with the wheel moved. Okay, but see, the tracks are still visible, even though I told it to hide them. And the reason why that is, if we go up here and go to Resource Mods, I put shortcuts in here. Makes it a lot easier. Go to the track folder. And we want to edit these visuals here. If you haven't downloaded my XML editor from my GitHub, you should probably get it. I'm going to open this up. Oops, wrong file. We want the visual process. Okay, let's scroll this down here and I'll show you why those are not hiding this, because this alpha test enable is set to false. We're going to change that to true. If I can spell it right, okay. I'm going to save this. Then we're going to open up the other one. Go down here, TRUE. I just double click that and it selects everything in that text word. Okay, save this. Now, go back to all the tanks. You flip to another tank here, and back to this one. See, now the tracks are gone. That's going to come in handy if you want to start making your own custom wheels. But one of the things that you're going to have to be aware of is these color, these independent colors that make up these wheels is important. If you were to, say, delete these, create your own geometry, you're going to have to make sure you keep track of these colors. I don't think there's any particular order that makes too much sense in these so far. I thought that they started with 0 in the front, but apparently they make much difference. But I'll show you how to look at the values in these. You can pull up the text editor or texture viewing window. Go over here and put this over here and turn on show UVs, okay? Now, Actually, this is not going to work because of the mode I'm in. Let's go over here and reload this. Okay, this is the one that we wrote out, and I just loaded it from the resource mods folder. Okay. At some point I'm going to fix this so this works all the time, but now we can mouse over these. You'll see these colors up here in the upper left hand corner. Like I said, the wheels that are drive or solid non-moving wheels always have, I'll turn on the wireframe so I can see these, shut off the pins. You can see that drive wheels seem to have nothing in the blue. Okay. And that just made me into a liar. Okay, still got to figure a lot of this stuff out. But you'll see that these wheels down here have only blue. These are the wheels that move. They're all blue. Where the WD wheels, my phone's ringing, all the WD wheels, which are these red ones, all have a red value, but these W underscore wheels do not. A lot of this stuff might have the same colors as far as this other chassis stuff that doesn't actually move, because it doesn't make any difference. It's not going to be animated. So they're going to be grouped together by their own one set. You can see that they have all the same colors. You get into some of this really interesting stuff. We actually have blending going on. Get rid of this stuff. See the color shift here? That's because this stuff actually bends when the track's moving. So that color is what controls how much that deforms. But anyway, that's basically it. On the gun also, it's the only ones that have the green channel set. And the part of the gun that recoils has a red and a green value. But the part of the gun that doesn't recoil, there's no value in the red channel. So all of this, we hide everything but the gun. You'll see that we got green and blue has values on the parts that don't recoil, but the red and green have values on the parts that do. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope that helps you explain. Oh, one more thing. If you want to clear out these folders, the vehicle's Russian here, okay? Here's our tank we just exported. If you want to clean that out, because when you go to extract, if I extract this, it's not going to overwrite these files, okay? It just doesn't allow it. But if you want to remove them, say, because you want to start over, make sure you get out of there so that you're not pointed at in this. If you're inside of one of these folders, it's not going to allow you to delete them because they're active. But we can go here. We can go up here. If you've got any important stuff in there, now's the time to save it because it's going away. Okay, that whole entire folder just got erased. Right? You think it's gone. It's still got our FBX. Right? You can't export an FBX if it's not, if you haven't imported one. Yes, extract our stuff again. You'll see it pop up here and all of our structures back. Right. Chassis. That's right. Okay. And everything's back, and it should all be back in the game again. Okay. Oh, except for this stuff again needs to be edited. Better than that, I'm going to add that to my program so it automatically, if you tell it to hide the tracks, it automatically changes those from false to true. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Have fun.